The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good, brother.
Just recently started using your products. Everything you said about them's correct. Me and my wife both use a lot of them, and it's made a lot of changes in our lives here.
Well, thank you, brother. It's because it also funds our operation, but doing that, I know I've got to have the highest quality. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals.
We do the Super Male and the Super Female Vitality. Big changes, a lot of energy. We've gotten off of the cheap energy drinks, energy shots, saving a ton of money there.
Sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated for maximum potency. They want us stunned and dumbed down, and energy drinks and stuff just cover that up for a while, but then burn you out, in my experience, whereas stuff that gets your glands naturally going goes right to the source. So it's pretty exciting, and I love it. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
You are listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
All right, I want to get the phone number out before I get into a lot of other news. I'm going to cover more news in the second hour. No guest today other than Joe Biggs popping in at the bottom of the third hour with major breaking Jade Helm news that we're working on with Kit Daniels and Paul Joseph Watson right now. But the headline, prescription drugs kill more than homicide in New York City, a shocking story by Anthony Gucciardi that links directly into government studies and a recent press release. There's also an article in The Independent breaking it down, a very important article in the featured news section of Infowars.com. We're going to be going over that. Some of the other headlines on Infowars.com. Obama's LGBT agenda, gender-neutral restroom near the White House. We talked about this yesterday, but Nemo breaks down the agenda that's basically driving it. And here's where I stand and where most Americans stand, regardless of race, color, creed, or sexual preference. I don't hate people or dislike people that are attracted to the same sex. But I also understand historically that during declining empires and nations, everyone starts becoming obsessed with things that are not in the norm. And mammals and every other major species have sex with the opposite sex to share genetics and then basically to raise the young, and that is how we operate. And there is a war on the normal order, and there is a conquest going on in the public schools with young and impressionable children as young as age 5, now age 4, in some Head Start programs, teaching children about dozens and dozens of sexual fetishes and things. That's all pedophilia. I don't care if you're teaching about heterosexual sex or sex with transvestites or whatever. It's super sick, it's super evil, and it screws kids up, and every study shows that. And there's still morals in this country. When top psychiatrists and child psychologists went public about 4 years ago and lawsuits were filed from Florida to Texas to cops doing the right thing in San Francisco, of all places, in the county, they're saying, I had the district attorney on, we're going to start arresting TSA that grope children. And they had the child psychologist saying this trains them to be abused by pedophiles. And then they went into the psychology of it. Of course it does. Does the TSA think they're doing that? No, they're compartmentalized. Some of them. Some of them are pedophiles. And so now they don't grope under 12 at the airport because people said no. And that's what this is all about, is getting us to obsess on transsexuals' rights and their right to have taxpayers pay for their sex change. Hey, I don't want to pay for your heart surgery. I don't want to pay to have your penis removed. I don't want to pay to have one added. I don't want to pay for your liposuction. I don't want to pay for your breast implants, as they do in England. Taxpayers got to pay for boob jobs. No, and it's not because I hate women with fake breasts. It's because I hate being sucked off of. I hate having to pay for everything. I hate the government being the mafia don that hands out the goodies in the community, because then it gives him total control. I hate being a slave. And we are a nation and a world now of jellyfish. Under political correctness, we're told, be hospitable, don't have your own opinion. First, it's be tolerant. Now it's don't have your own opinion. Don't discriminate. Well, a lot of forms of discrimination are good. As I've said many times, I discriminate what brands of coffee I buy to what tastes good and has got a good kick. I discriminate on what Mexican food restaurants I go to or what barbecue joints I go to. And let me tell you, I don't care if it's a black man behind a counter or a Mexican man or a Mexican lady or a white guy. I go where the barbecue's good. There's some Germans down in, they're the listeners, only been there a few times and ran to the owners, down in, what's the town south of San Marcos, called Fushaks. Been there since the 40s, but now they got a place on the highway. That's some of the best barbecue I've ever had. That's white guys. Some of the best barbecue that may even trumpet was owned by black folks in Memphis. When I drive through Memphis, I go to the place Elvis loved. And it's certainly not a tourist trap. It's where Elvis really went. And let me tell you, it's so good, you can't quit eating it. And I don't care who's behind the counter. See, this is political correctness. There's a little place down here owned by some Mexican Americans. They just want to be called Americans, just as good as well. I don't care what color you are. I care about what you do, what you produce. I don't care what color you are when I listen to music. I don't think, man, this Marvin Gaye's got a beautiful voice. He's black. Oh, my gosh, I'm listening to a black guy. Or I don't listen to Elvis sing and think, man, he's white. I sure like his white voice. I like how it sounds. But that's discriminatory. That I discriminate what barbecue I want. I discriminate off what fishing lure I want to use. You know why I discriminate? Because the bass discriminate. They're not biting on purple worms. They might bite on pink ones or yellow ones or orange ones or red ones. Or they might bite on a top water spinnerbait. Now, why are the fish being racist against black worms with red tails or white worms with green tails? You never know what the fish are hitting that day. Now, we just realized there's racism in bass. In fact, we should ban the names of bass. They've got black bass, they've got rock bass, they've got big mouth bass, small mouth bass. There's all different type of bass, and I realized a lot of the names are racist. They got white bass. They got black bass. You think I'm joking? In Europe, they're banning the names of birds, fish, you name it, as of a month ago, if they're named black. See the mental illness? The globalists are gang raping everybody with the mega banks, screwing everyone over with Obamacare, screwing everyone over with fluoride in the water, screwing us over devaluing the dollar, and they've got us all obsessing over Clorox emoticons or whatever they're called, because Clorox was white, and it must be code. Ah! White piece of paper. Ah! Why is the London Independent background white? Ooh. Sweden changes racist bird names. Oh. Can't say black starling anymore. Of course, it's a black bird. And I didn't mean to go off on a jag. I want to get to other news and take your calls. It just shows the scientific mind control that's taking place here. Let me give you some of the other bombshell news and we break it down in the next hour. New Ford car automatically obeys speed limit. And Ford got it from German engineers. Yeah, I told you just a few days ago, it's Mercedes, Audi, and Bavarian Motor Works, the Germans, oh, give me a break, that are leading the way in, quote, smart cars that are really driverless cars that you think you're driving. I told you that's how it'd be phased in. That's the MIT plan. And as early as next year, you don't have a choice. It's going to slow down and make you drive the speed limit. But don't worry, for a few seconds, it might let you press harder and speed up in case there was an emergency. And will folks even go get this turned off? Will people say, no, we don't want this, Ford? No. Consumers will sit there with their thumbs firmly planted you-know-where, letting this whole system come in, a system ending human control and putting robots in control day one, programmed and run by the big corporations and government. In a eugenics plan to make the world set up where we're not needed anymore, put the machines in, and then release bioweapons to kill everybody. That's the official plan. I've made a whole bunch of films on it, like Endgame. You want to see the quotes? You want to see the government documents? You want to see a 3-hour film where I show you? I made the film 8 years ago telling you every word now beginning. Just like since 1998, I read the Rand Corporation plan, the Austin American Statesman, how great it would be to soon have military on the streets. Now terror attacks were coming and would revolutionize America. And it was thinly veiled where someone in the know, they were just telling everybody it was that. So I went to the library, because you couldn't get it online, and I got the latest copy of the National Police Stability Force, and I read it on air, and I knew the whole plan, and now here I am, 16, 17 years later, and we're about halfway down the rat hole. And I just don't want to go down to the very bottom of the hole, because there's a big snake down there that's going to eat us. Because I read the end of the report. And I mean, I have the confessions of the enemy. I have their battle plans. We have everything. I mean, all you got to do is check into it. This is Fox News reporting it like it's fun. Remember a couple weeks ago when the German pilot reportedly flew the plane into the ground? And I said, watch, they're going to call for it in the New York Times, because I know where they first put it out. I said New York Times. They're going to call for pilotless planes. And they did. New Ford car automatically obeys speed limit. Fox News. And, of course, reports back if you do even try to speed and gives you automatic tickets. California approves bill banning child vaccine exemptions for forced inoculations, the Sacramento Bee reported. And now it's got to go to the governor. And they said because of the measles outbreak. Oh, it's so scary. Toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. There hasn't been a measles-related death in 10 years. Oh, my gosh. In 1 out of a million cases, you might get some big scars. Oh, my gosh. Let's take the vaccine that actually started the outbreak at the facility, and its own insert says can kill you or give you measles or diabetes or destroy your pancreas, pancreatitis. So now they've got bills to ban having inserts in the vaccines. They'll shut us up, won't they? How you like that? I told you forced inoculations were coming. And And it's like saying, I told you the sun was coming up this morning. I'm not up here bragging going, told you, told you, told you, told you. I'm here saying, come on, folks, come on. And I'm not just talking to our regular listeners. I'm